trying to close out this one. We haven't seen a maiden yet.
See, this is where I would probably look to protect the over, put one guy out on the offside as a sweeper. Don't want to let the pressure go by conceding a boundary now.
Oh, and as you mention it, that one gets open face slapped through the offside. And that's another boundary to end off the over. Puerto did such a good job, and all of a sudden going short and wide. Nakin Tamim just slapping it through the offside. It's a forfeit. That brings the end of the 18th over. 82 for the loss of 1.
Told you so. I've seen this rodeo a few times, and I think once again that for me will be part of the learning for these guys. Just understand, even with if you've bowled 4 dots in this situation, put the guy back, give him a single. You don't want to go and concede the boundary, and just relieve a little bit of pressure on the batter.
And also you're bowling at the batter that is still finding his way. He's faced 24 deliveries. That was his first boundary, so taking that away still would have been only another single. And also closing out that over for just a single, you'll still be bowling at that batsman. This one just pushed down the ground for the 1.
So these are the things also as a young captain that you got to constantly think about. You know, your mind's all over the place. When Rolls starts bowling, it'll be even more so, because then you also have to bowl, set your own fields, etc.
Again, just trying to fire that one in. Came out completely wrong for Caccini. And that's what makes captaincy at a high level so demanding, because you're playing the game almost an over ahead. And then time is in your head, time constraints, all that sort of stuff. And what do I do next? If this one struggles, what's the next battle plan? And just pushing it down, a bit of a fist pump, enjoying that single.
Yeah, Caccini just changing his angle to the left-hander, also to around the wicket. Maybe just feels a bit more comfortable, or trying to use the angle going across the left-hander.
That is why I mentioned red ball cricket earlier on, playing the longer formats of the game, especially as a captain. That really gives you an opportunity to get plans in place, think, get all these things out of your system. So when the shorter format comes, you kind of have a way of thinking. You learn to think ahead of the game. Caccini finishing off that over with a lovely dot. Only 2 runs conceded. It is 19 overs gone, 84 for loss of 1. Abrar still there. He's on 55, and the captain, Hakim Tamim, just finding his feet. He's on 11 of 26.
Still reasonably even. I would probably still give Bangladesh just a little bit of an advantage here because of only losing 1 wicket. South Africa definitely need another wicket or 2 just to get back into this match and put it more on an even keel.
Oh, straying down the leg side. Easy pickings for 1. He does have the 2 boundary riders there. He's got the deep square and the fine leg on the fence.
It's just compensating for the last ball of the previous over, which was short and wide, and you try and come a little bit straighter and fuller. Get it slightly wrong.
Just looking at the last game, Abrar is enjoying South African conditions. He scored 70 of 61 in the previous match.
Rusty tap water, cooking with dirty water. Stop risking your health now. Twist and filter magic.
Trying to hit the ball on 5th, 6th stump to the leg side, and that's what you want. You want that frustration to build. You don't want to feed him in his area that he prefers. make him do something different. If he's good enough to do it, then you got to take your hat off to him.
Just looks like a different batter when you bowl at him, and then when you bowl that little bit wider, just looks a little bit unsettled there. As I mentioned, his 70 came off 61. At the moment he's 55 or 51. And just looking down the scorecard, Hassan still to come in, we've got Abdullah still to come in, you've got the wicket keeper Farid Hassan to come in as well. So a lot of batting for Bangladesh. So we need I beg your pardon, South Africa and the 90s need wickets. They need it in clusters. Oh, going across and picking this one up onto the onside. It almost plucks into the ground. At 9 iron, not going all the way.
So much for the run you get on the winter fairways. Not this time. Stood there and thought he had hit it well enough. But at the end, as you mentioned, only a brace.
We saw when we walked on the field, the outer part of the outfield still had a lot of dew on it, a little bit of moisture, and there's no sun, so that kind of is just sat there, just absorbed into the ground, so those would stick. Oh, the sun is skied up in the air. Chance and taken, very well taken. You could just see the absolute joy from the South African under 19s. A lovely catch there. That hung up there for quite a while.
Definitely not in control this time, my bro. He's looking for that leg side again. You could see JJ Basson steadying himself, knowing this is an important catch. And he does take it, and it's Botha's first under 19 international wicket for South Africa. And it couldn't have come at a more important time.
Just look at the reaction there, just laying on the ground, thanking the heavens. And that is a big, big wicket. It's 87 for the loss of 2. That means both openers are back in the hut. And this is a man that comes into the crease now. Scored a couple of runs in the previous game. He had a 60-odd.
The other thing about the Bangladesh side that really struck me this morning is they've actually got quite a few big, tall players. And the new batter is a prime example of that.
Yeah, lanky batters we saw on the ground as well. You and I are no slouches in the height department. And a couple of them were towering over. We saw that Mohammad Rizwan's son is at the crease. Right-handed batter. Again, not a great average, but a decent strike rate of 65. He's one of those batters that takes his time to get in. He scored a 63. I beg your pardon. He scored a 63 or 55 in the previous game. 14 matches. Highest score of 82. So still want to get that 100 off his back. Previous game also steady start, and then all of a sudden started to accelerate from there. So he can up the ante. 5 4s and 3 6s in that innings. Botha's tails up his very first under 19 wicket in his second match. He'll feel a bit relieved as well. That was the man who was dropped off his bowling earlier on. And I like this from the South Africans, attacking a bit more, getting the slip back in. Fielders in close. Oh, great fielding. Great fielding. Great awareness as well.
It's such an important part of your game is your attitude in the field. That's one thing you can really control. And so far in the first 20 overs, I have been impressed. Yes, Katsini dropped a catch, but I think in general the fielding standards have been really good for South Africa.
Yeah, it was actually Vian Pretorius who did a great save there. The younger brother of Luandre Pretorius. And it's not that much younger. I think there's a year or two difference between the two of them. How great it would be for the Pretorius family to see both their sons playing at a high level. Katsini continuing. He's just lost a little bit in the last over or two, trying too many things, I feel. Oh, Rolls can't catch up to that one. Not a bad result, getting the new bats on strike. Do you see the sun coming out a little bit?
I was just about to ask, is that sunshine that I'm seeing? It's still not warmer here where we're sitting. It's a bit of opposite of being in Boland Park in the height of summer. Gets slightly warmer there.
Yeah, just a tad, about 30 degrees. Oh, lanky batter. It looks pretty compact.
No, I think that's one area for me, Caccini. It's twice now that there are two balls that have, if you're being hypercritical, could he have maybe stopped them? So if you want to be an international cricketer, those are the little things that just set you apart from the usual guy.
Dropping it short again. It's almost like he's trying to push it through to the left hand a little bit quicker. Trying to take the slog sweep out of the equation. But I agree with you. Spin bowlers in general are very critical of themselves, of their own bowling. They feel that 10 meters either way of them is theirs. We see a guy like Adam Markram, even if he's a part-time bowler, anything that he's like a hair after it. Chance for a run out. Oh, and it's not a great throw. He might have wanted to go to the bowler's end, would have been a better angle for him.
Yeah, just not quite balanced to get the throw accurately and flat. A little bit of hesitation here. Half a chance.
Took a fantastic catch earlier, Paul James, and this time just the throw going awry. Going back to around the wicket for the left-hander is Caccini.
If I think about how he started his spell to the left-hander, it was a little bit more flighted, and he's just sort of maybe got a bit nervous and dragged it down from over the wicket.
Got very excited about that one. Spinners in general always get excited if it's close to the pad. But that's the end of another over. It is 21 overs gone. It's 91 for the loss of 2. The captain, Hakim Tamin, is at the crease with Hassan. That's just the bowling figures there. Dion, not fantastic, but also not horrible figures.
Yeah, Basson having a little bit more difficult day than he did a few days ago when he got 4 wickets. Sony got the breakthrough initially. Caccini has been steady. And I must say, Botha has been impressive. That could have been a lot better than 1 for 17. First over, should have had a wicket. Eventually did get the wicket. But so far, so good. And I'm just worried, not worried, I'm just wondering when the captain, Jason Rolls, will come into the attack.
Yes, I think it's one of those things where the conditions have changed just a little bit. He is a spin bowler, so he's looking, is there turn? There's Caccini not really getting any turn out of the deck, so Botha picking up a wicket. Is the medium paces going to give him something more than the spinners maybe? Maybe trying to do something different as well than what they did in the first match, because Bangladesh kind of expecting one thing and then throwing them a curveball. Having someone else maybe roll the arm. Or like I said, doing something different, bringing yourself a lot later.
Yeah, I just think the longer you wait, the longer you sort of bowl towards the end of the match. Or end of the innings, rather.
Oh, Botha just getting a bit of turf there, and almost looks like he got duplicated there by James. He rolled over and James said, listen, I can do the same.
Definitely an area of concern there, but Now, having played in England, that becomes quite an issue, the footholds. And you've got to have the ability to either go wider or closer to the stumps because everyone's landing in the same sort of spot. So it's something, once again, getting back to the whole learning experience, you've got to be able to adapt. And it's not always easy. We're comfortable with doing the things that we like doing.
Oh, it was a little bit extra. Bit of extra bounce. Like I said, he's only medium pace, but he does bowl a heavy delivery, so he does tend to hit the deck a little bit harder. That means that front foot does come down a little bit harder as well. So if that's going to be the tendency of it breaking up that side, and this is where the captaincy comes in as well now, is spinners, are we going to change ends with them to give the fast bowlers something to step onto, or are we going to continue just fixing up that hole? Lovely shape there. New batter still trying to find his feet. Rizwan Hassan. Lovely run up. Look at that one. Just a little bit of venom. Just showing that I do have it in my arsenal.
I really liked what I've seen from Botha so far in this spell. Once again, it's a short or a small sample size, but it shows you what potential there is and what you can do.
Oh, this one just evading the keeper. Lucky runs for us. That would have been a phenomenal catch.
I did say it earlier on in the innings, you're always taking a chance when you're putting slip at second, third. Just stick to conventional. That would have gone straight to first slip.
And this is where it comes in. If you're going to take those sort of risks, especially for the new batter, have them in conventional positions and then adapt as the player adapts his game.
But often first slip is effective because they tend to go hard at the ball outside off stump. So that's for me why the finer slip actually does make a little bit more sense. There you're sort of guessing where he is now. He's more second, third slip. You can go 1.5 even, I think, because then the slip can still work to his left.
Oh, this another edge, and looks like the keeper's put it down. Piri, did that carry to him? That's the second edge. Again, those hard hands that you mentioned.
Yeah, that's definitely a chance. Botha's thinking, what must I do to get the wicket here? That was probably as straightforward as it comes.
Oh, definitely carried. Dipped a tad on him, but that is, as keeper goes, those are the ones that must stick. You're the man with the gloves. And Botha conceding 5 runs, but both of them being chances. Closing out the over. And oh, how great that would have been. The man that scored 63 in the previous game would have been back in the hut. Rizwan Hassan riding his luck a little bit. It is 96, closing on to those 3 figures. 22 overs gone.
Once again, 90 for 3 looks a lot better than 96 for 2. Just gives you a different feeling and different momentum. You know, that's not a physical thing, but momentum is such a big part of this game. And it would have definitely given South Africa a bit more momentum going into more of the second half of this innings of Bangladesh.
And also, if you keep picking up wickets, that means that you're in the game the whole time. If there's wickets going down, if there is 1 or 2 things not going your way, then you kind of find yourself doing different things and things you shouldn't have. If we just look at that drop catch again, oh, it was almost like he was on the heels a little bit. He wasn't kind of expecting another edge.
No, he would be very disappointed with that.
Cacchini continuing around the wicket to the right-hander. definitely playing with very hard hands on the offside is our son. They're very comfortable if you bowl wicket to wicket at the Bangladeshis at the moment. Straight bat, pushing down the ground. They're very patient. We've seen that. Oh, just a lap sweep around the corner. Nice and quick to the ball. Only the one.
I'm just sitting here thinking we normally say at 30 overs you can double the score. So if Bangladesh under 19 bat conservatively from here, 7 overs, say, gets you to 120, 130, we're still looking at possibly 260, which is quite a big score. That's why, for me, they're still in control. South Africa needs to stem not only the run rate, but definitely get a couple of wickets, because that's the only way we're going to prevent Bangladesh under 19 getting to 250, 260 once again, which I feel will be difficult to chase.
Using his feet, no success. Closing out the over well is Kachini. His 7 earners going 21, which is good going. It's 98 for 2, and I gotta agree with you. Around about 30 overs, you start doubling up if you got wickets in hand. If you don't have wickets in hand, then you kind of revise the total of what would be happy with, or what would we want to defend. And anything around about that 250, I would even say 225, 230 mark is going to be tough going.
Yeah, 220, 230 I think is different. 250 plus, I think you're going to be struggling as Jason Rolls does come into the bowling attack now. But getting back to a comment we made earlier, and Katsini is bowling economically, none for 21 in 7. I would have taken even 2 for 35 in 7, to be honest, or 2 for 30 would have been even better.
Just look at Jason Rolls' best there. 5 for 8 was a phenomenal day out for him. His 6 matches, that average of 16 is a phenomenal average for a spinner. And only going at under 4 to the over. Also a left arm orthodox. So it might be because of that footholds, maybe just changing ends with the fast bowlers, because Botha got 2 edges in the previous one. I don't think you really want to take him off, but they've got to try something different.
No, I just think if he bowls 10 on the trot now, he's going to go into the 43rd over, 44th over anyway. So he couldn't probably have waited much longer before he came into the attack if he wants to bowl his full quota of overs.
This one is absolutely thumped. And welcome to the crease, Captain Rolls for the day. And it also brings up the 100 for Bangladesh under 19.
Yeah, just too short, and they're not going to miss out on this. It's turned into him. We know he's economical normally, but it's just a bit of it's a cold day. It's not easy for the spinners. They prefer it a little bit warmer so you can wrap your fingers around the seam of the ball. So it is going to be a challenge. You've got 2 batters. Well, one is a bit more set than the other. But you've got to come into a situation now where Bangladesh are just slightly dominating this match.
Yeah, as a captain just getting to his stride. Previous match he scored 26 of 48, so he likes to get into the innings before he really gets going. Also hit 1-6 on Thursday. And it was in fact the man bowling at him now, Jason Rolls, who got him out.
Interesting in South Africa, both the left arm spinners are quite short in stature, so you'd expect them to both be able to give the ball a little bit of flight, having to bowl the ball up more so than down.
Oh, delicately played down to a vacant third man With just the one.
Still a big advantage for Bangladesh to have the left and right hand combination at the crease all the time. So the bowlers keep having to adjust.
Look at the height difference there between Piri and Hassan. Again, just happy to knock it. That anything in that area where it pitches onto the stumps, they're very comfortable. Playing straight or square of the wicket is comfortable, and we've mentioned it a couple of times now. It's almost that outside of that fourth stump line is where they almost look vulnerable. Oh, nearly miscommunication there. You can see our son being very annoyed with his... oh, sorry, I beg you, Kim Tamim being very annoyed with his son there. Not realizing that it was well right of the fielder. That is an easy one.
I probably could have gotten two if they went straight away. Basson just not getting his hands to the ball. It's an expensive start for Rolls.
Closing out with the dot, didn't need to do anything else. 9 runs coming off his first over. Piri also just having maybe some batting advice there for our son. Just a friendly reminder. 107 for the loss of 2, 24 overs gone. We're closing in halfway of the Bangladesh under-19 innings after South Africa under-19 won the toss and elected to bowl first. Didn't really have any luck till around about the 9th over when Sony picked up the first wicket, and that was the wicket of the left-hander Rafat Beg. This one going in between two fielders there. Oh, sorry, the bowler and the fielder there. One of them should have gone for it.
That's the point I made earlier as well. Katsini, for me, that's not enough desperation. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency.
This one was fired in a little bit more, and I like that, but I would love to see just one tossed up. A little bit of flight and see, listen, if you want to hit me over my head, go for it. And that's one thing that I feel that especially South African spinners are very scared of doing, is just tossing one up and just taking the pace off. And if you want to generate some speed, do it, but I'm not going to give you anything to work with. Just thanking him for the batting advice. Yeah, it might have been Piri just continuing the conversation about lunch and that sort of stuff a bit longer when the bowler is already running in.
If I was the batter, I would just tell Piri maybe you should have opened your mouth to catch that one and instead of using your gloves. Because you've already allowed me to be here for longer than I should. But also as a batter, you shouldn't really say much because you're always going to be at the losing end in a way.
But it's not just that. Every now and again, as soon as you start talking back, the concentration is, what am I going to say next to this guy? If he says this, everyone's had those conversations in your head where if he says this, I'm saying this. And it just breaks that concentration. That's kind of what the chatter is doing on cricket. So like you said, as a batter, you're always on the losing end. The over comes to an end. Only 1 run from it. 108 for the loss of 2. Halfway through the innings. Only 2 wickets down for Bangladesh is the great news for them. But again, the run rate, not too bad for the South African under-19s, 4.3. They'll be happy with it.
The thing that's worrying for me is it's taken 2 hours to bowl these 25 overs, and that's, at this level, just not acceptable.
By my calculations, about, 16, 17 minutes too long?
At least. You know, we haven't had a lot of wides or no balls. Yeah, we've looked for a few balls. That's probably taken up a few minutes, but not 16 to 20 minutes.
Rolls into Hassan. Just playing this one on the onside. They'll be happy to milk Jason Rolls like this, especially in this middle part of the game. If they can go at 5s and 6s, they'll be happy.
Without a doubt, because that'll give them the platform, and then they can launch in the last few overs.
We were talking about doubling up at around about the 30 over mark and that sort of thing, but I think if they got another 7 wickets left and we're around about the 40th over, we could look at a massive score.
It depends whether you got set batters in or not. If you have set batters in, as I've mentioned, what you see in T20 cricket when you have 2 top order batters that are hitting, you can't stop them scoring. The only way you stop them scoring is by getting them out.
That one looked like it just straightened up a tad. Not great deal of turn from the spinners, from the South African spinners. You should see what the Bangladeshis can do on this deck. Oh, very close to